On taking possession of Castle Crag in the spring of 720, Ostwald had set about several formidable tasks, the most immediate of which was to learn his way around the labyrinthine keep. After spending much of his youth at Goddess Keep, an imposing and logical structure, he had become chief steward of Stronghold, a castle built for defense with a correspondingly efficient design. Skybowl, his holding for 14 winters, was a small place without need or opportunity for eccentricities, but his new home was something else again. Cut into the side of cliffs above the Falain River and built out from those cliffs and cantilevered overhangs, Castle Crag was a maze of rooms, halls, suites, staircases, and the most exquisite oratory in all 13 princedoms. Ostwald had taken his first tour of the place, guided by a small battalion of functionaries, all eager to point out the wonders of his or her own domain within the keep. Their chatter had prevented him from gaining any reliable knowledge of where he was, let alone where he was being led. That night, he had frowned over his problem, knowing that the next day would show him as ignorant of the castle's environs as he had been at the moment he'd arrived. The servants, he knew, would be watching for mistakes. That afternoon, Allison had lost her way after what she suspected was purposeful misdirection on the part of a page. At midnight, therefore, he had enlisted her and their Sunrunner, an old friend of his named Donato, in a secret expedition through the twisting corridors. Each of them chose an essential location. Armed with a collection of trinkets, bronze, gold, silver, copper, blue, ceramic, privately color-coded to each destination, they spent the rest of the night seeking out the best routes, and at all important junctures left behind a vase, a candlestick, a figurine, a dish, on convenient tables and shelves. "Copper to the kitchens," Allison had recited as they finally fell into bed, exhausted but well pleased with their trick. "Gold to your library, silver to mine, bronze to the great hall, blue to the gardens. But, Ostwald, what if somebody moves everything tomorrow morning?" "You forget, my princess, that when you began rearranging our suite, you ordered that anything we changed or added be touched only to clean it." "Did I?" She chuckled. "That was clever of me." The next morning, all their signposts were still in position. With supreme confidence they strode through their new home. The servants were astounded. Donato even waited 3 whole days before rearranging the entire system. But the joke had been on the Sunrunner. He was the one who had forgotten the direct route to the back gardens. Now, a year and a half later, Ostwald rarely needed a glance at the trinkets to remind him where he was. Still, every so often he found himself in an unfamiliar corridor without the faintest idea which hallway led where. On one of these confused wanderings, too embarrassed to ask directions from servants, he had discovered the archives.